Welcome to the Jack Breslin Student Event Center on the campus of Michigan State University for this Class C boys semifinal basketball battle featuring the Lakeview Wildcats and the Hamady Hawks of Flint. Jim Shafran and Frank Plecas bringing it to you, and we'll just give you a quick thumbnail, Frank. You know, two of the biggest words that are used in describing basketball teams and the way they play. Number one is tempo, the other is discipline. Both teams have it, but both teams define it just a little bit differently.
Well, the style of play is going to be definitely different, but the philosophy is the same. They want defense and they want discipline. In Flint Hamady, they're going to come out, they're going to try to make you up-tempo the game. They want lots of numbers on the boards. They score off of their defense. They're going to attack you. They want to cause mistakes. Whenever they can, they're going to double down with the guards. On the other hand, over at Lakeview, they tried to run a little bit early in the toward the end of the season. They won an overtime game against Ithaca, and then they got beat the next game against Elma. Coach sat them down and said, guys, we don't run and put the ball up. We play much better if we control the tempo. They held their next opponent to 25 points. That's the type of discipline you're going to see out of Lakeview tonight.
And 9 times this season they've held a team to 45 or less. And on the other hand, Flint Hamady averaging almost 85 points a game. And this is a team that has scored over 90 10 times and over 103 times, and one more time if you take it to the postseason, where their average margin of victory was 29.1, and they're coming off of a brilliant defeat of a very strong and very tough Detroit DePorus basketball team, 67-59, in which they were down 2 at the half, and then DeWayn Allen lit them up from downtown. 2 of his 6 3-pointers in the basketball game that helped them with their victory. Lakeview, they extended a 4-point halftime lead to defeat Byron 54-40 as Dave Skora, their big guy inside, 18 points and 7 rebounds on 7 of 8 shooting, 7 of 9 shooting, and 2 block shots. So those are a couple of the guys we're going to want to take a look at, and we're looking forward to bringing this one to you. The winner of that one is going to take on Ishpeming, and that was quite a basketball game that we saw here just a few minutes ago. We're very, very happy to be part of your video scrapbook here as Advanced Video Service brings you this semifinal basketball game with Lakeview and Flint Hamady. And just about time to hear the national anthem and to find out who exactly is starting this basketball game. And we will do so right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Michigan State University.
Hamady at 24-2, and Lakeview at 24-1.
1995 Michigan High School Athletic Association Class C Boys Basketball Tournament. A recent survey revealed that the #1 reason youngsters take part in high school sports is to have fun, not be number one. That's why good sports are winners. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for today's game between the Wildcats of Lakeview
take a look at the starting lineup, and as they introduce it, coming out right now, number 34, Dante Chapman. And Chapman gives him about 10 points and 7 rebounds a game. Brock Place, 9.5 a game. A good free throw shooter, 75%. He's 15 out of 15 from three-point land. And take a look at the rest of them. They are introducing them individually, and there's the man right there, DeWayn Allen, 23.5 points a game, 7 rebounds, 70% foul shooter, and 61 of his team's 91 three-point makes.
6'4" senior.
And now Stewart will come out, and he's averaging 10 points and about 4 rebounds a game.
6'8" senior, 52.
And their big man in the middle is David Skora, 10 points, 9 rebounds. He has 21 block shots in the season. Good free throw shooter.
5'10" junior, number 10.
And a look at Riyadh Howard. 8 points, 3 rebounds, a 70% foul shooter, 3 assists, 2.5 steals a game. And Jason Main, a 5'11" junior. Main, 5 points, about 3 rebounds a game, and 14 of his 14 three-point shots. And of course, number 32, Xavier Winfrey, 6-footer. He's a senior. And Chris Thompson, about 4 assists, about 4 steals a game, 64% foul shooter, 12 points, and a couple of rebounds. Frank, we love those games when there's tempo versus tempo. You got a team averaging 88 points a game. You got another team that averages giving up 49 a game.
Well, I think it's interesting because Archie Robinson said, you know, I made the comment to him, I said, your team likes to pick it up, put it down, get up and down the floor. And he gave me that look that only coaches can give you when you make a statement like that. And he said, we play with discipline. And I think that sums it up. He wants them to play aggressively, but he wants them to be under control.
And once again, we'll introduce them to you, get you familiar with the team that you may not be so familiar with. And we failed to mention Shane Bees, and he's 10 points and 8 rebounds a game for Lakeview and a 68% foul shooter. Skorka will jump it up at center court with Tim Stewart. The blue-shirted Hamady Hawks and the Wildcats are wearing their white uniforms with the black and the gold trim, and we're underway. It's in the hands of Jason Main. Good screen by the official. Getting the ball over the midcourt mark. They try to pound it in to Bees this time, and he gets it down for shot of the game.
Well, they want to double down with that guard, but that's a good way to avoid it. Get it to the big fella on the blocks and put it up.
Riyad Howard will run the offense. Winfrey off the baseline. That's DeWayn Allen. And here they come. They're running a little bit this time. Lakeview on the drive. Thompson, no. Try to slap it out and start the break, but Bees picks it up nicely, and out goes left side Skorka. Up top it goes to Jason Main. Double team. Leans out of the double team, but we're going to get a holding call. The first foul of the basketball game on Dante Chapman. His first, and it comes just about 41 seconds into the basketball game.
Well, you saw Lakeview run the basketball and not execute. They that's not their ball game. They ran it down the floor, missed the layup, still have control, though.
Thompson with it. Chris Thompson, one of the co-captains. Nice spin move to the hole. That place picks it up, and he's in a bad place right now, right along the sideline with a couple of Hawks in front of him. Chris Thompson. Now they get it inside. Bees patiently gets it down for the second time in as many attempts. It's a quick 4-0 Lakeview lead.
Well, you saw a good ball reversal, and that's what they want to do. They want to get it going. And on the other end, they're going to play a zone defense. They kind of match up. They kind of slide. They do some unusual things. The best way to beat it is to beat it down the floor. You play against it, it gets real tough.
Chapman on the post could not free himself without the walk. And that is a turnover, and it's the first turnover of the basketball game for Hamady. Comes at 6:37 first quarter. It is 4-0. Team with the ball, team with the lead. Ball is kicked, and it will be Lakeview basketball in front of the Hamady bench.
Well, you can see Lakeview doing a great job of running away from the double team. As Hamady tries to come over, double up on those guards, they get the ball to the open man and then the quick reversal. That's how they've got all 4 points on the board with that dump inside.
Rock Place will inbounds the basketball for Lakeview. Looking for somebody to move. Bees has it. Thompson draws a lot of blue shirts, and that was a quick, hard pass by Place inside, and went off of one of the Hawks and out of bounds.
You know, everybody talks about Skorka, and he deserves it, but you look at Bees at 6'3", 220 inside, and he takes up a lot of space.
Quick inbounds. Maine will work it toward the hole, but now Lakeview content to set it up and pound it inside, and defeat of number 42, DeWayn Allen, got tangled up with one of the Lakeview players. And we will quickly correct our pronunciation of Shane's last name. It's Buys. So we will correct that and apologize and let it go at that. The double team, cross-court pass to Skorka. Almost knocked away by Stewart. Good pickup and almost a pickoff by Chapman. He grabbed it on the baseline and he was standing there, on the sideline I should say, and he was standing there. 5:59 to go. And the game is Well, in the pace, if you will, Frank, of Lakeview.
Well, I think that you go and the quickness starts showing later in the ball game. And right now, both teams are up there. You can see them try to get the double team, but they dribble right through it. Great penetration, but then they kick it away.
Thompson throws the basketball out of bounds. That's the first Lakeview turnover, each team with one. Hawks yet to score, but they've only put up one shot in the first 2.5 of the first quarter.
Well, this type of zone is real tough to play against because everybody gets in the passing lanes, but Stewart does a great job of picking up the bat away and getting it down to get them on the board finally.
4-2, and already the third team foul on Hamady, the first on Xavier Winfrey, but 3 team fouls. And for those of you unfamiliar with high school basketball, you shoot on the 7th of the half, so it sustains itself through each of the 2 quarters of each half. Slowly they come up the floor. The post to Skorka. Delivered beautifully up top, but main shot does not go. They're fighting for it. Buys with it, forces his way in, and oh my. He ran Winfrey down, and or rather Allen down, and I wonder how close that was.
Well, Buys did a great job of just attacking the basket after he picked up the loose ball. And those officials look for you to hit somebody in the middle of the chest. He caught him in the shoulder. That normally goes against the defense when that happens.
So Shane Buys will be at the free throw line. He's a 68% free throw shooter. To the 5-2 basketball game. Pretty good free throw shooting team, Lakeview, at about 65% earlier in the year. We did a little search of some of the teams in Oakland County, and that's high above that average. Kept alive by Skorka, and the offensive rebound off the miss of the free throw, and that makes it 7-2 in favor of Lakeview.
Well, right now Lakeview's staying after the ball, playing much tougher defensively than you see the Hawks, and they're picking up the loose ball.
DeWayn Allen's first basket of the game coming at a very opportune time as the Lakeview defense picking itself up. On the baseline, and Skorka, that's his office, and he will remain there. 7 of 9 in their win over DePorres, and it is a 9-4 basketball game, Lakeview.
Well, Lakeview's done a good job of getting the ball inside of their big people. They're known for their perimeter shooting, but so far they've had the penetration, and the Hamady Hawks pick up a charge.
Riyad Howard following up his three-pointer, but picks up the charge. We're going to get a couple of substitutions. One for Lakeview, that's Jeremy Thompson, that's Chris's brother. And also we'll get our first look at number 14, Teran Knowles.
Well, they put the ball on the floor, but you can see the shuffle against that zone, and they do a great job of getting in position. They get the rebound, but they just have everybody where they're supposed to be. That's what they pride themselves on, team defense.
Second turnover for Hamady. Well, they are trapping big time at midcourt. There's a lot of folks open. They get it into Buys, and he might have walked. Yep. Nice job of finding the open man, but he was so open, the feet were shuffled.
Well, the thing that Hamady has done, Jim, is they've started to trap up much closer to midcourt than they had earlier in the game. That's caused the offense to start much higher than it wants to, and he found himself out of his comfort zone.
Knowles coming off knee surgery. There's a 3 if it goes for DeWayn Allen. Knowles coming off of knee surgery, playing in only his 10th basketball game of the season. Nice pick away that time by Dante Chapman, and Chapman makes it a 9-6 basketball game with his first 2 of the game, coming with 3:40 to go, first quarter. Quickly back, Thompson. Skorka, no! Oh, Skorka wide open that time, and a great job by Place to try to pick that ball away. Jason Main, that is, and in fact, that hustle will keep the ball in Lakeview's possession.
Well, Lakeview's Chris Thompson just explodes with the basketball, and he gets up the floor, and he can beat that trap. And here's the steal. It's just a pick away, and they really want it in Thompson's hands because I think it's a mismatch if they have it in anybody else's hands breaking that press.
Main will inbound the basketball and quickly does to Thompson, and they kicked it out of bounds. And so Lakeview will get to start their offense again. 3:33 to go in a first quarter that is a 9-6 Lakeview lead. Thompson finds Skorka inside, but they work it around nicely, and Thompson's 3 attempt no, kept alive nicely. Maine off the baseline. Jason Maine gets his first 2, makes it 11-6, Lakeview. They're doing exactly what they did against DePorce, pounding that ball inside, but taking the occasional outside shot. Good defensive job by Jason Maine on Teran Knowles. Knowles looking inside, double team, throws it to the corner where Allen picks it up. Looked like, they will call one on Skorka. Looked like he got a clean block, but got the ball, got a little bit of DeWayn Allen.
I tell you though, when you put the ball on the floor and get into the paint and you're moving, 9 out of 10 times they're going to call it on the defense because they just don't feel you have that position. They give the advantage to the penetrator.
Allen at the foul line, a 70% foul shooter. 24 points a game on the average. He led the GEC, that is the Genesee 8 Conference, in scoring, and just about anybody else in the Flint area, regardless of conference.
Yeah, I think he was the county scoring leader at this past season. But the thing here is that Hamady's now getting into a comfort zone. We started out with Lakeview being very comfortable, and they took the early lead. And Hamady settled in. They feel the pace is their way right now, and the next adjustment has to come from Lakeview.
And they cut it down to a 3-point basketball game, 11-8, coming at the 2:50 mark of the first quarter. Thompson carries the basketball and turns it over for the 4th time for Lakeview.
Well, Kendrick Williams is doing a great job of keeping the ball out of Chris Thompson's hands. And, we get the two Thompsons out there. Chris Thompson's the ball handler. He's got the explosive speed. And Kendrick Williams, kind of an unsung person out there, is the man playing the defense.
Brock Place back in the basketball game. With defense in the middle, they push it ahead to Thompson. He's ahead of the pack, and he lays it up and lays it in. First 2 of the basketball game for Chris. Gives him about 12 points a game, and about a 45%er as far as shooting from the field. And when he penetrates, that is when the average will go up. This is a 3 for Knowles if it goes, and it does. And Teran Knowles gets his first 3-pointer of the basketball game, the first 3-pointer, and a steal by Kendrick Williams. And Kendrick Williams will go to the free throw line with the good hustle defense.
Here's a great job of 2 guards working together. You get the steal, you get the kick away, make sure he gets it down, and that's Chris Thompson doing a great job. He's the one player for Lakeview that can match Flint Hamady with the speed.
Foul went on Chris Thompson. This is a 3 for Knowles. If it goes around, no. Comes down to Allen, and he'll force it in. And actually, you can't use the word force when DeWayn Allen shoots the basketball. He is a great, great shooter. He's well over 50% from the field, and a lot of that comes from outside, with 56 made, actually 61 made 3-pointers on the year. Now there is Stewart coming back in the lineup.
Well, right now you got Lakeview making an adjustment and trying to play high-low post and get the ball between the 2 big guys.
Double team on the baseline, and they will call a jump, and the possession arrow favors the Hawks of Hamady.
I think this is where you see the quickness start to take over. You have the quicker ball club, and you wear that other team down. And there's Coach Robinson done a great job. He was a football player and a real good one at Hillsdale.
Allen off the baseline, and DeWayn Allen is heating it up now. He has 6, 3 out of 5 for the field, 8 points, 15-13 basketball game, and we will get our second foul on Lakeview of the basketball game. Maine picks up his first foul. Archie Robinson came to Hamady after a stint at Millington, where he was very, very successful. And tell you, he's a man, as Ed Phelps told me the other day, doesn't take any guff. Another steal, another basket, this time Kendrick Williams. And this game is in the hands of Hamady right now after a 8-0 run that began just about a minute and a half ago.
Well, you talk about jumping out of the gym. In this case, you're going to see him jump out of his shoe. They get the penetration. He comes up, and down it comes.
Well, Thompson does a good job of picking it up. Jeremy tied up, and alternate possession again. This time it's going to go. to Lakeview as they switch the arrow.
Right now, Hamady's doing a great job of turning the ball, getting people to not look at the people who are open, and taking advantage of their press. They've worked it up to a 17-13 lead after kind of a slow start.
Yeah, they started off exceptionally slow, and actually Hamady's got a little bit bigger run. They have actually about a 15-6 run in the last 3.5 minutes of the first quarter, and it's been a pretty solid one. As we take a look at the numbers, 7 of 11 now for Hamady at 64%. Lakeview shooting 6 of 11, and they're at 55%. So the pace has picked up, but a lot of the offense has come courtesy of the defense.
Well, you could just see the comfort change. I thought that early, the first 3-4 minutes of the ball game, that Lakeview felt that, okay, this is what we want. We're going to pound the ball inside. We're going to take advantage of it. But as Hamady moved the trap up higher, more toward midcourt, they started dictating the terms of the game. Right now, Lakeview's got to get more penetration toward the basket before they start running their offense.
See what unit that Michael Schreiber has out there right now. It is Thompson and Thompson, and Buys and Skorka, along with Brock Place. And there is, of course, our ball cam. Well, Wilson is a provider of basketballs for the MHSAA, so I guess that is an appropriate one. And Thompson makes a great pass off the weak side and gets it down for his first 2 of the game.
Well, they get an 8 on the timeout. They come back in the ball game, and what did they get? But exactly what they needed was a basket.
Great hustle there. Turan Knowles dishes it right side. Williams for 3. This is out to Place. Ahead to Thompson. Oh, he took it right off the hands of Williams and lays it up and in. And Chris Thompson has his second basket, and we're tied at 17.
Well, Chris Thompson did a great job of staying focused on the basketball. It was tipped away. He came back after it, got it down in the hole.
Knowles looking for penetration, is not getting it. Got it on the baseline, though, and Allen could not get it down. Good job inside, though, by Winfrey. No, it was not Winfrey, but Lonnie Jackson off the bench with his first 2 of the game. And it's 19-17 with 10 seconds to go first quarter. Inside Buys off the glass, and he's ending the quarter the way he started it. He has his 3rd basket. We're tied at 19, and looks like Hamady is going to be content to leave it in a 19-19 basketball game, and that's where we stand after 1 quarter in this Class C semifinal from the Breslin Center. Lakeview 19, Hamady 19. And Frank, they've hit him on the boards. Lakeview has 8-4, and I'd say half of those are offensive rebounds with Buys and also with Skorka.
Well, Buys and Skorka are big bodies in there. Skorka's 6'8", but Buys at 6'3", 220. He's a pounder. He stays around, picks up the loose balls, just like the last one that you saw. He got a piece of it, got it down, put her in the hole.
This is exactly what we've been talking about, Frank, about the points off of defense.
And this is the type of thing that you have to have, and it's a great concentration. And Chris Thompson does it. He knows when that ball is stolen, he explodes out of there. He's the sprinter. He gets up the floor. He's the guy they look for.
See who is going to enter the floor now for second quarter action. Stewart's coming out there along with Riyad Howard. DeWayn Allen's out there.
You know, Coach Michael Schreiber of Lakeview, it's kind of, it's a homecoming for him. He worked his way back, became the JV coach at his alma mater. Now he's been the head coach for the last 6 years. Has had a great 127-51 record there. And he was talking about the comforts of being at home, but he said, I've got a couple of cousins on the team. I've got people that I grew up with. I've got their children. He says it's just a great experience.
127 wins in his coaching career, 99 wins at Lakeview. So number 100 will get him to the spot that they've wanted to get to for a long time. This is the last time they were in the semifinals. It was in 1964 when they beat Fenton by a dozen. Right now, though, great dish inside from Allen to Stewart. And Stewart gets his second basket of the game. And Lakeview takes first charge, if you will, of the second quarter. Here's Thompson with speed. The layup. Oh, he could not get it. And it comes off the rim to Knowles, Turan Knowles.
But Thompson explodes out of there when that ball gets loose, but you see they're right back with the pressure. And Allen just is red hot, Jim.
Well, 11 points. Heating it up,
There's
and
a
we
walk.
get a walk in the backcourt. That is the 8th turnover by Lakeview already. And of Hamady's 24 points, Frank, 10 of them have come off of Lakeview turnovers. And when you're able to score off the turnovers, it makes them doubly important.
Well, Hamady keeps that constant pressure on you. You get a double team and you think you've come out of it, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's the third man, and they shake it loose.
5-point basketball game. That's their biggest lead. Each team's had a 5-point lead in the basketball game. Knowles looks inside, but he goes outside to Johnson. Or Jackson, that is Lonnie Jackson.
Well, Lakeview in the course of the season, Jim, whenever a team is starting to get a run on them, has been able to get real solid defensively, get a turnover just like that, and then come down and make sure they get the good shot when they come to the other end.
4th time they've turned it over. Here comes Thompson flying. Up top it goes to Place. It's a 3. If it goes, it's a front iron miss to Knowles, and he's flying too. Stuck that right arm out. Oh my! He stuck that right arm out. Down went Thompson. The whistle goes in the favor of the Hamady Hawks.
But Jim, the official was in direct line with the defensive player and couldn't see the arm extension, and all he saw was a knockdown and a break for Hamady.
6:48 to go. Second quarter, 24-19. Hamady off slow. This is Allen. He gets all sorts of.
I want to know how he got that one up. I'll tell you, people, he's putting on a shooting exhibition here.
He sure is. That one goes out of bounds. They try to push it up quickly. Turn it over now for the 9th time. And Allen is shooting 5 of 8 from the line. He's 2 out of 2 from the free throw line, 5 of 8 from the field, and that includes 1 3-pointer, and that's helped them extend their lead to 7. And here they come again.
Dante Chapman's worked his way back into the ballgame. He's got tremendous quickness.
The DeWayn Allen show continues. He has 15 of the 29 Hamady points, and we're not even 2 minutes into the second quarter.
But right now, everything he puts up is hitting the middle of the basket. They just picked up a 10 count, and they're probably going to need another timeout to calm things down. Hamady has just picked up the tempo.
That is their 11th, make it their 10th turnover of the basketball game. And again, that's 10 turnovers in about 10 minutes of basketball.
Well, you talk about the best way to attack that zone is to beat it down the floor, and that's one of the few misses. They get the rebound, Stewart puts it in.
Stewart cleans it up. He has 6 points, and we are going to get a quick Michael Schreiber timeout. It is now a 12-point basketball game, and that has come off of a huge run to start the quarter as Lakeview's just been on fire, or rather Hamady's been on fire ever since the point of the quarter, Frank, where they lost the lead. It was 7-6, and then Hamady just started to pull away. Actually, it was 13-11 with 2:35 to go. Then they ran off 8 points, and it's really been tight the rest of the way.
I think it was a great adjustment on the part of Archie Robinson. He extended the trap. They were trapping, relatively deep into the front court. They turned around and they started trapping near midcourt. Then they extended it to the backcourt. And right now, Lakeview's just having a heck of a time just entering the ball.
5:54 to go in the second quarter, 31-19. It is 31-19 with that much time to go in the first half of action. And what kind of adjustments you're going to make if you're Michael Schreiber?
Well, I think you have to go and extend that defense and spread it out. They've got to be patient taking the ball up the floor and then get it down into the big guys inside, because that's Bays and Skorka's where the points come from.
Thompson, triple team, so somebody's open. Brock Place trying to make it happen. Thompson, not a main. This will be a 3 for Place if it goes. It's a front iron miss. Tried to steal it away from Allen. Good hustle. And Jeremy Thompson takes it at midcourt. Again, 3 guys around him. If they see the open man, they may be able to do something. This is Skorka on the baseline. Allen might have gotten a piece of that one. He's got the basketball and sends it skyward.
Well, they've got him swarming, and Allen is just lining it up.
That time he was a little bit short. Great job that time by Maine, or rather Placey could not get it down. And they're getting the shots, but they're having to hurry because of Hamady's quickness.
Well, I don't think they could believe that Allen was going to do what he just did defensively.
Good cross-court pass. Howard, one of his few shots right in the hands of Skorka. 12-pointer. We're reminded of the first game, Frank, in which Olivet was ahead of Ishpeming by a goodly number in the first half, and they just completely turned it around. But those teams that had pretty much even style. Skorka gets his third basket.
Well, that's the patience Lakeview is known for right there, with the working the ball, getting it to Skorka, getting it to the people who can put it down. Coach Schreiber felt going into the ball game that if this thing got up into the 60s, it would favor Hamady. They've got to put the screeches on him right now.
Jeremy Thompson starts his drive out of Maine. Skorka's jump hook, no, but Buys went back up, and he will go back to the free throw line. And we're looking at a Dante Chapman foul. That'll be his second, and that'll kick the team foul situation up to 4 for Lakeview.
Well, I think you're going to see what the theme is going to be at the halftime speech is you've got to beat the press and then don't panic. Work it down into the big guys. Let them get to the line or put it in. And that's where the points are coming from, but they're just not getting there often enough.
I am corrected on the team foul situation. That is the 7th team foul. They're in the bonus, and Buys unable to hit that one. He is now 1 out of 3 from the line. There's a good look at Archie Robinson in his 3rd year as the head man at Hamady, and Bees kicks his point total up to 8, and we're halfway through the quarter, and they throw the ball out of bounds. Did it go off of Thompson's hands? No, but it will be the 6th turnover of the basketball game for the Hamady Hawks, and it's actually like about 3 of them, Frank, on the last 4 possessions.
Well, Chris Thompson's one of those guys that steps up when you need the big play offensively or defensively. He has the ability to do it. He just did it on defense, and then he gets the ball to the hole nice and soft, so they get the rebound, put it back up by Shane Buys.
Buys with the 2-point prize, and now it's a 7-point basketball game as they've ripped off the last 5 to cut into it. Oh, that one is one of those shots, Frank, that you understand that this is high school and a continuation has a little bit of a definition. But Dante Chapman, watch this ball, how it went in.
Well, when you get penetration inside of that zone, and this is where they get it in the seam, and I mean that's an excellent call right there.
This will be a 3 for Knowles if it goes no. Thompson with a rebound amongst the trees, amongst the Hawks. Great pass, Thompson, good pressure that time defensively as Allen came over, and he'll commit his 2nd foul.
Well, Chris Thompson's been the guy that has picked his team up after the timeout. He has come out here. He's, had a steal, or caused a turnover, gets the ball down, got them in position to score. Right now he's going to be at the line. He does a great job of hustling into the passing lane to get after this turnover right here. He does a great job, or the rebound on the outlet. And he gets into the passing lane. You can see him work into position and take it, stay under control, and get it up after he gets hit.
Thompson checking in at 64% from the foul line. Now a quick substitution as Riyad Howard will come back in the lineup, and Mr. Stewart will sit down, and Tim sits down with 6 points. A couple of baskets here in the second half, in the second quarter, I should say. That has 3:26 to go. Free throw here will make it a 5-pointer. Splits the pair, but Bees is there. Puts it back up. That would have counted had it gone, but it didn't, so it won't, but it'll send him back to the free throw line. And I'll tell you something, Shane Bees has been Mr. Consistency on that offensive glass, and indeed that was his 8th rebound of the game. And Hamady only has 9 as a team.
Well, Lakeview goes and, they ask Shane Buys to be strong in there. He gets the ball off of the rebound. They do a cross, and he just takes it in strong and forces it up, gets himself to the line. And, they brought in Tony Howells. He's kind of a Shane Buys look-alike here. I think he's Shane Jr.
He splits the pair. He has 11 first-half points, and Howells coming in, and he is the other co-captain. Doesn't give him a whole lot of points or rebounds, but he comes in and gets the job done underneath the basket. And looks like he escaped from the football field as well.
Yeah, 6'2", 225, and he takes up a lot of space in there.
5-point basketball game, 3:10 to go, first half.
Well, Mike Schreiber gets an A on his last timeout. He was 10 or 11 down when he took the timeout, 12, I believe. He's brought his team back, and that's what coaches make adjustments. Now it's Hamady's got to adjust back.
Winfrey with the fade in the right hand, and he fills it up for the first time tonight. His first two makes it a 7-point game with 2:50 to go, and he threw that one right away. 11th turnover for Lakeview. 15 points have been scored by Hamady, almost half their total off of Lakeview turnovers, and we're going to get a foul for kicking, if you will, on Jeremy Thompson.
It looked like they got their feet tangled down there, and the Hamady player went down. They called a foul on Jeremy Thompson, and I didn't pick it up. I was looking at the ball, but they just locked feet, and somebody went down.
15th foul on Lakeview. Coming about 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Knowles will back it away with Jeremy Thompson pressure. Riyad Howard. Knowles taking their time. Uncharacteristic for Flint Hamady. Great pass inside. Jackson could not get it down, and it went off of one of the Lakeview players and out of bounds, so Hamady will inbounds.
Almost a great assist inside. Jackson didn't quite get it up into the square, but good penetration.
Allen hasn't taken a shot in a while. Almost a beautiful knockaway by Place. Hustling on the floor, and indeed, Skora gets it ahead to Jeremy to Chris Thompson. Now to Jeremy with the pull-up. He hits it for two. Jeremy Thompson hits his second basket of the game, and it's a 5-pointer inside the 2-minute mark first half.
Well, you can see the mettle of Lakeview. They've picked up the tempo. They're getting on the floor. They said, hey, we've got to hustle. You may be quicker, but we've got to play harder.
Back out up top. This is Winfrey. He pulls up with the right hand. No. Ball is off of everybody, and finally in the hands of Lakeview. And they tried the long pass to Thompson, but Allen picks it off.
Allen is so quick, and what great anticipation.
A three if it goes, and it's a little short for Riyad Howard, but picked back up by Winfrey. And Xavier Winfrey gets his second basket, and with 1:17 to go in the first half, it's 35-28. Hamady. Thompson to Thompson. Chris the drive. The layup, no. The rebound, Jackson, and Jackson is fouled by Chris Thompson. And so that will just be a side-out situation. Just a 16 foul in the basketball game, the first half. Thompson's second.
The thing Lakeview's got to do is after they break that press and regroup and get under control, they got to go with the big guys inside. That's where they've been effective, and that's where they get their points. Right now they're getting back into a little bit of running match with Hamady, and they can't do that. They'll get blown out. 35-28.
Hamady with the basketball. We look at the turnovers as we have kind of tracked them just about every other play, and that is the 8th turnover of the basketball game for Hamady. 17 of Hamady's 35 points coming off those Lakeview turnovers.
Well, they definitely have up-tempoed it, and 12 for Lakeview, 8 for Hamady. But Hamady, a lot of their turnovers is just trying to push it too fast. They're going to get a charge.
Well, one good turnover deserves another, I guess, Frank, because just as soon as we got them up, we had one more for each squad, and we get the foul as well.
Well, most of Hamady's turnovers is when they get out of control. They want to push the ball, but coach stresses stay under control and discipline while you're playing hard. Sometimes they get a little out of control.
Jason Main, not a place. Off the baseline, tries the reverse, no. Kept alive, grabbed nicely by Main. 23 seconds to go. They'll probably may play for the last one. And well, there'll be a couple of last ones because we're going to get another DeWayn Allen foul. And if indeed it's on Allen, that's 3.
And Hamady cannot afford for him to go out of there. He has that ability to run big streaks on you, as he did in the beginning of the second quarter here. 20 seconds ago, he picks up his third. He's going to have to come out of there. He'll get number 4.
Skora at the line. He was 4 out of 4 in their win over to Porras. He comes into the basketball game at 65% from the line. So far tonight, they are 4 out of 8 from the stripe, and Skora has 6 points. That left-hander wanted to come out, but it looked back at David, and David said, no, stay there, please. He's got 7.
And I think that Lakeview would be very happy to go in with a 5 down here at halftime after the way things had gone for them early in this quarter.
And they throw the basketball away on the inbounds, and that is their 10th turnover of the contest. So in this quarter alone, they have turned the basketball over 6 times. And again, just trying to get things happening a little bit too quickly. 15 seconds to go in the quarter and the half. Kept alive on the ground. In an alternate possession, it will go.
Yeah, they're going to call it
to Lakeview.
Once he rolls over, Jimmy, he was sitting on his fanny and everything's fine, but when he rolls over, that constitutes steps and the ball goes out to Lakeview.
So another turnover. And Buys will come back in, and Buys Jr., as Frank calls him, Tony Howes, the co-captain, will come out. Here's Thompson to the lane, throws it up off the glass. No tip in at the buzzer by Brock Place. Oh, what a way to go out.
What a big-time tip in, too. You saw the strength of that young man. He reached out, and you're going to see this. He reaches out with his hand, and how he controlled this is amazing. They get the great penetration. Look where he came from, puts it up into the square, and that's the basketball gods painted that square up there, give you something to aim at, and it went down, and they cut it to 3.
Well, what a way to take it to the halftime locker room as Hamady, the Hawks of Flint Hamady, have a 35-32 lead over the Lakeview Wildcats. And don't go too far, because we'll come back with our halftime numbers and set you up for third quarter action from the Breslin Center when we continue in just a moment.
If you're in high school and you want to play sports in NCAA Division I or II schools, you must be certified by the NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse. Ask your coach or guidance counselor for one of these students' release forms. Fill it out and send it to the clearinghouse. Remember, if you're not certified, you can't compete as a freshman in the NCAA Division I or II. For more information, call 319-337-1492.
In double figures, but then you take a look over onto the other side, and you look at what Hamady has done, and they have one man in double figures, and that is Allen. We did not give him credit for a three-point shot that he had made. We called it a 2, but he has 16 points. Everybody else has 19. And there are some of the other numbers. The turnovers picked up considerably in the second half, though, for Hamady, and they were actually, a lot of those were really unforced errors on the part of the Hawks.
Well, in that second quarter, you saw them just pushing the ball too fast. They were able to cause the turnovers, get the steal, but then they'd come down the other end and turn it over themselves. And they have to go and regroup. I think that Coach talked to him at halftime. He said, and as I said in the open, Archie Robinson just prides himself on his team's consistency and their ability to stay under control. And I'm sure that was the litany at halftime.
Well, right now, starting 5 both ways. Jason Main, Brock Place, Chris Thompson, Dave Skora, Shane Buys, Riyad Howard, Tim Stewart, Xavier Winfrey, Dante Chapman, DeWayn Allen, and opportunity to either cut it to 1 or tie. Stewart on the pickoff. So we start the second half for the TO. That is turnover.
They're going to work on the ball movement. They've got to spread that zone out. It's real tough to play against the type of zone that Lakeview plays. It's a modification between a matchup and a straight zone, and you have trouble getting the ball inside. They do it with the offensive rebound.
Riyad Howard, great job that time on the following up the missed Stewart shot. Thompson throws this one away right in the hands of Dante Chapman, and Hamady a chance to extend their lead.
Well, Hamady exploded at the beginning of the second quarter, and you can see right now they've picked up the pace again, and there's a call inside against Shane Buys.
Buys will pick up his second foul. First foul of the second half. Just 52 seconds into it. Quickly with that, we'll give you some quick scoring for. Besides Allen 16, well, actually they spread it out. 6 for Stewart. That was the next man, and then 3s and 2s follow.
You can see a little bit more patience on the part of Hamady right now. And I think they believe they can get that backside rebound. If they can get the ball up off of a pretty clear shot and put it up soft, they can get that backside rebound.
See what they can do on this possession. Allen off the baseline, and he had some defensive pressure, but a fine rebound by Skora. Here's Thompson. He's going to take it himself, and they'll call the charge. Thompson went down, and he might have turned the ankle that time, Frank. He's getting up slow.
Yeah, he bumped knees or something, but Howard did a great job of getting back and getting set up on that. And I can just see the control that Hamady has that they didn't have at the end of that second quarter.
Well, Chris Thompson is going actually to the locker room, and his brother Jeremy will take his spot in the Lakeview lineup.
Well, you hate to see anybody leave the ball game, but he is so important to them bringing the ball up the floor. You hope they can get it taped and right back out here.
No, you might have been right about him bumping knees, because he doesn't seem to be favoring, well, now he does, as he goes down into the tunnel area. Wide around the right side. Now Allen off the baseline. Good dump inside. He could not get it down, and the tip in.
I think that Stewart's going to get credit for that one.
Yep, Tim Stewart was there. Another offensive rebound. Well, they need a basket so bad, and we're going to get a Riyad Howard foul. That's going to be his second. When Thompson left, by the way, after the foul, that was the third foul on Chris Thompson. He has 3. And the big man on Hamady's team, DeWayn Allen, had 3 quick ones in the first half.
Well, the thing that Lakeview is confronted with right now is Thompson's the only guard that's got enough quickness to go and beat that trap. And anybody else, they have to go and fight it and use their teammates. They've got something on the floor they're picking up and taking a little break.
Officials timeout there. Just a couple of minutes into it. We did not mention Chuck Wozniak and Dave Sontag. They are the 2 officials, and they haven't had too much to say about them, and that's always good. Well, that pass just never got up to Brock Place.
Well, you saw the great pressure they put on. They had him triple teamed, and he had trouble getting away, never got the handle on it.
That is their 4th turnover already here in the third quarter. We don't mean to beat this into the ground, but everybody looks at the scoreboard and said, how did he get that way? And every so often, a stat jumps out at you. DeWayn Allen's third three-pointer of the basketball game.
But you don't want to get him.
19.
You don't want to get him going
because
because he has that great ability to get into the streaks. And here's one of their streaks right now.
I'll tell you
Timeout.
something, Chapman.
It's going to be a timeout.
Is going to force Michael Schreiber to call a timeout as they will move it up. And I don't think they saw him. Thompson, off the Skora. So they are able to put some points on the board. But you could see very clearly Mike Schreiber was up with the T side, and they ran right past him.
Well, when you go and watch Country Day come over here tomorrow, you're going to see them with signs. And that's the reason. You look to the bench, and they've got signs to hold up because you can't hear anything in this gym.
Skora with Skora with a rebound.
Yeah, the teams that have been here quite often come in with color codes and all kinds of things to communicate with their players.
Skora on the baseline, goes up with it, it hangs on the rim, no! He buys up, he could not get it down either. Shane buys with another offensive rebound, and he will go back to the free throw line where he is 3 out of 6.
Well, Shane Bies went up, and he had Xavier Winfrey just absolutely hanging on his arm. He about took him up with him.
Bies, I'll tell you, he's got the stroke, Frank. It's just they don't want to go down for him.
You're going to see Bies do a great job of getting in position and get after it. But there's a replay of the turnover, and they just turn him around. Once you turn away from your teammates, they just take it to you.
Flying through, Stewart wide open mid-paint, and he Gets another one of those office jumpers. We call them office jumpers because they're right in the inside where he belongs. Thompson back down the other way. And Jeremy Thompson gets his third basket. Cuts it back to a 9-point lead.
Well, the younger Thompson comes in for the senior Thompson and does the same type of penetration and may become the man of the hour as his brother did earlier.
Howard starts his drive. That turns into the 11th turnover in the basketball game for Flint.
Now we get the one we thought we had, and here's the penetration, and just took it right down the seam, and Thompson did a great job. They've got it back in his hands again.
Lakeview with it, down 9, halfway through the third quarter. Maine looking in the post, can't find anybody. Cross-court pass, the man of the hour at the end of the first half. Rock Place, his only basket of the game, came at the buzzer on a great tip-in. Great offensive rebound.
Well, you can see what problems Hamady causes for you. They're going to get a foul here. Thompson doesn't feel he got him, but you know, you go up for that jump shot and they come running at you. 9 out of 10 times they're going to call a foul on that defensive person. But the thing that Lakeview right now, they're not getting the ball downstairs to the big guys again. As soon as that happens, that's when the game opens up.
Now we're going to get a timeout. That's going to come with 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the third quarter, and an opportunity to tell you that some people mistakenly call high school athletic, art, drama, and music programs extracurricular because they're conducted after the traditional school day is over. But in the total learning process, activities enhance what takes place in the classroom by teaching youngsters value they won't find in a book and providing lifetime memories. They are truly co-curricular. Support your local high school athletics and activities program. A public service message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the folks here at Advanced Video Service.
Well, Jim, we're back in the situation that Lakeview was in the middle of the second quarter, where they had fallen 10, 12 points behind, had to get something going. You're sitting here right now, you're talking, if you're Michael Schreiber, you're talking about we've got to control things. We've always come back slowly. We can't get it back in bunches. We've got to get stops, and we got to go down and get good shots. And right now, their shot selection has fallen off considerably.
3:44 to go in the third quarter, and well, if the timeout by Mike Schreiber is as successful as it was in the first half, we can get this game back a little bit closer. Right now, we've got some free throws to be taken care of. DeWayn Allen, 3 threes, 2 out of 2 from the free throw line, and as we mentioned, a 70% foul shooter. What doesn't he do?
He's got such a great stroke, and he's one of those people that once he gets hot, he's going to knock down 3 or 4 in a row.
As we mentioned, 3 because he was fouled outside the arc on the shot. Jeremy Thompson's foul, by the way, was his second. It was also the third team foul of the quarter and the half. He now has 21, and we get a Hamady substitution as DeWayn Allen will sit down and ice his arm a little bit.
Well, this is a good move. Allen's got 3 fouls on him. You want to get him out of there. You've creeped up to 11-point lead. This is when you want to give him a break, see if you can maintain while he's out of there.
Hamady running the quarter at 13-5. Jason Maine trying to get it away from double team pressure. Place forced the ball inside, and it was deflected out of bounds by Dante Chapman.
Well, you can see the great coaching over there at Hamady. They just anticipate those passing lanes. They get there just about when you get there.
Jeremy Thompson now off the baseline. This is Maine for 3, and Jason Maine puts it down. And on the season, that is his 15th three-pointer. And it makes it a 48-40 basketball game coming up on the 3-minute mark of the third quarter.
A little trapping of their own by Lakeview down there, putting the pressure on, trying to get Hamady to make some mistakes.
That time, Gerard Knowles with his first 2-point basket. He's got a 3, another steal. Knowles
does a great job. You know, he did a great job of penetrating, then he comes right back and buries one.
So they kick it up to 12 points now with 2:40 to go in the third quarter. Quickly placed off the baseline to Skora. Patiently waits for the blue shirts to go somewhere else. And Dave Skorka has his 12 points of the basketball game.
Well, there's what we've been talking about, where they can penetrate against that pressing man-to-man defense and trapping and get it to the big fella downstairs.
Quickly off the baseline right. Winfrey can't get it to go. Buys with class, and he is fouled. Looks like the call will go on Kendrick Williams.
Foul 32, Winfrey, his third.
Take a look here, Frank, and just see some good hustle on both sides of the floor.
That was a great hustle right there. That's about as quick as you can get. But yeah, you go, and Hamady's been the opportunist in this quarter.
Skorka is engulfed by Stewart, and so he will go to the free throw line.
But this is the kind of penetration that has brought them back in the game in the second quarter. You got to take the ball. You got to go to Skorka. You have to go to big Shane Buys inside. They're the forces, and particularly when you have the other Thompson out of there, Chris Thompson, who is your best penetrator. Skorka's bringing him back. He's the man, and you've got to come hard.
Allen about ready to come back in the lineup, and Skorka gets it down. So he has 14 points, and Allen returns to the contest, and he will sit Kendrick Williams.
Well, when he went out, they were 12 up, and it gave him a nice break. And as I said, he's got 3 fouls on him. He's got to get a little bit soft.
This is a 3 for Allen if it goes. Front iron miss comes off the bye. That's his 10th rebound. Thompson side iron. It comes down in the hands of Knowles. Knowles sends it ahead to Winfrey. Chapman, and he lays it up off the reverse.
Did a great job of laying that ball out for him, and then they come right back with the steal. And you know, Knoll has been that way. He seems to do something. He does things in bunches. He goes in. He gets the throw out there. He gets a great assist right here as he kicks the ball out in a wonderful lead pass, and then he's going to come right back after that and get the turnover.
Baseline. Reverse underneath. Little block there by Jeremy Thompson. Goes out of bounds off of Turan, and so it will be Lakeview basketball down 10 with 1:28 to go in the third quarter. Well, they're calling him Knoll. I have it both ways, but it is Knoll, and what a block by Thompson. He just got up there hard, and now they're going to try to call a timeout, and they jump ball. And Place is not real happy. He walked over when Buys had possession, but
I think it shook loose, though, and you know, it's a tough call. The officials are trying to get down on the floor. There's a lot of people going after it. Great hustle, but the ball still goes to Lakeview.
May now will take it. Skorka a little bit out of his office, got pushed to the floor, and as Buys goes up for the rebound, he will go back to the free throw line, or actually it'll be a side-out situation as they will call it there.
Yeah, up over the back. Buys does a great job again, though, getting that inside position, going up strong. He's a wide body. I told you, he's 6'3", 220 pounds. He gets that position, you're not going to move him.
And they were, shall we say, interfering with the inbounds. That was the foul was on Dante Chapman, and that's going to be his third foul. And called one. They called that one on Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart hooked him when he came by, and he just stayed big in there.
This is a 3 if it goes. A back iron miss comes out to Dante Chapman. Inside of a minute in the 10-point basketball game, it was 3 after 2. Collision on the baseline. Buys comes down with it. Here comes Jeremy Thompson. He gets it ahead nicely to Maine, and Maine has it tipped away by Knoll. It is Turan Knoll, N-A-L-L. We had it Knowles and Knoll all over the place. And
yeah, it's Knoll, but he's you know, you can say plural because he's everywhere. It seems like there's more than one of him out there. He's got that great quickness and anticipation, and he seems to get into a rhythm. When he finds his rhythm, he's a very disruptive force.
Lakeview needs this possession big time bad. Maine can't free himself up. Jeremy Thompson penetrates, throws it away. Here comes Knoll. Turan Knoll by himself, blocked away by Maine, and Place got in on that one, I should say. Slid underneath, blocked it, but on the offensive rebound, Lonnie Jackson will go to the free throw line.
That's the second time Place has done a great job. Hamady kicks the ball out on the steal, and Place is going to come out of nowhere. And boy, does he do a great job of just getting up there. But you see the foul on Maine after the offensive rebound.
Jackson coming into the basketball game as a 59% foul shooter. And back into the lineup now is Kendrick Williams. And again, Allen will sit down. Last 22.8 to keep him out of further any foul trouble. He has 3, as Frank mentioned a minute ago. This is only Hamady's 7th free throw attempt, and Jackson misses both of those. So they go to 4 out of 7.
Well, you talk about people having a lot of movement on their free throws. Jackson has a ritual and can't get either one to go.
Bees, this is a 3 for Place if it goes. No. Tipped by Bees, no. And
Bies is going to.
The Bies, I'm telling you.
He's going to go to the line again. He is, he is so agile for his size. He's a big fella, but he moves around. He stays within himself, and he just took the nice two-hand tip, which gets him to the line.
Bies at the free throw line. He's been somewhat inconsistent. He split the pair each of the 4 times he's been at the line, and that one goes down.
He's going to go and get himself downstairs. You're going to see the penetration and the ball go up. He kicks it out, steps back inside, and just gets everybody off and stays after it. Great job by the young man.
Got them both. 5.5 to go. 8-point basketball game. Hamady with the ball, the lead, the steal. He'll throw it up, but after the horn, as Maine tried to make another one at the buzzer. He hit that 3 in the quarter to kind of keep him close. Place had 1 at the end of the first half, and right now it is ballooned from a 3-point lead up to an 8-point lead after 3 from the Breslin Center. It is the Flint Hamady 54 and Lakeview 46. And Frank, they were able to increase their lead with Allen actually only scoring 5 points in the quarter, which means they spread it out pretty nicely.
Well, they did a great job again of turning people around. As soon as you turn your back on that defense, another person comes and picks your pocket from the backside, and it has hurt Lakeview, very much so when they lost Chris Thompson to looks like an ankle or maybe bumped the knee. They took him off, and if they tape him up and get him back, they might get back in this ball game. But they've been very inconsistent against the press with him out of there.
So 54 to 46 is our score. Some quick scoring for you. 16 points. 14 points for Shane Bies. 14 points for David Skorka. Those are the 2 double-figure fellows. Couple of guys in doubles for the Hawks. Tim Stewart has 10, and DeWayn Allen has 21, and he has 3 3-pointers in the game as well. Through 3, Hamady shooting at 50% dead on, 23 out of 46, while Lakeview is shooting 45%.
Well, we got the duel of the mascots out here. We got the Wildcat getting his crowd going, and the Hawk down here getting everybody up and down. And right now it's the Hawks that are ahead. And if they start out the way they did the last 2 quarters, they could open this thing up right away and end it.
Chapman will inbound the basketball. Dante Chapman and DeWayn Allen out there, along with Kendrick Williams and Riyad Howard. Howard is over on the bench. They putting all back in the basketball game, and they score quickly. Allen with 23, so he's right about his average. Thompson back in the contest, and he delivers it beautifully, but Place got a little bit too far into the basket.
Well, he immediately penetrated that trapping defense, got them in a position to score, and they were unable to capitalize.
Monty Jackson, the other Hawk that we did not mention, ripped away. Here comes Thompson. He's trying to get ahead of the pack.
No way.
But, well, I tell you, he just got surrounded. There were 5 people around Chris Thompson when he got his hands on the ball.
Yeah, they want to call, but I'll tell you, that's the time he should have picked the ball up because he wasn't going to outrun those 5 people.
Allen has it blocked by Skorka. Byes comes down with it. That's 14 rebounds for Byes. Jason Main. Place for 3. Brock Place has his first 3-pointer of the basketball game, the second for the Wildcats. They cut it to 7.
Well, they've set up Brock Place for that shot, and I think he's their 3-point man, and he gets off. But Hamady comes right back with an easy one, and those really hurt Dante Chapman right to the hole.
58-49. Place double, triple teamed, and as Knoll put his hands in to try to steal the basketball, he also got a piece of the Wildcat player.
Well, you see that Lakeview tries to put some pressure on, trap the ball, and they find the open man, and he takes it right to the hole. Can't create those seams against that type of press.
Right now at the free throw line. Excuse me, Brock Place. First time on the season, 75%. That was the 17th foul on Hamady, so they'll be shooting, Lakeview will, for the rest of the ball game. 1-1 if it's not in the act. 14 fouls so far on Lakeview. Front iron missed. Did it hit anything? Well, it must have hit something, otherwise it would have been
got a little bit of the orange there.
Down to an 8-pointer now. 6:20 to go. Knoll in that corner. Tries to free up Allen. It won't happen. Almost. Rebound comes down though to Jason Main. Everybody goes to the boards for the team in the white, the black, and the gold. Thompson. This will be a 3 if it goes for Place, and it does! And Frank, we talked to Mike Schreiber about those 3-pointers. They have an incredible percentage, and if it isn't there, they don't take it. But if it does, if it is, they will.
Well, Place has got the touch going. He took a couple earlier, didn't go down. Right now, he's believing in it. And tough defense on the part of Lakeview right there, and they almost created a Hamady turnover.
Riyad Howard with the basketball. Going up against Jason Main. Knoll with it, says, let's slow it down a little bit, work our shot. Allen right over in front of his bench and knows to get rid of it. Almost got it back. Byes got a hand in there. Allen falls down, but I think he tripped over Skorka's feet, and Skorka will pick up his second foul. It'll be the 15th foul, so still a side-out situation.
Yeah, that's a tough call because Skorka was hustling on that. He just got tangled up with the feet, and when they went down, they're going to favor that offensive man.
Big fellas have been doing it. Skorka and Byes with 14 apiece. This is a 3 for Allen, and it just kind of takes the wind out of the sails temporarily for Lakeview. Almost a steal by Skorka picking it up.
Well, you see the determination on Skorka's face.
I'll tell you, he's after it. Tips that one out of bounds, so they can't start the offense. 8-pointer with 4:55 to go, and
well, they get the out-of-bounds play, and Allen just they screen off the man who's responsible, and he just buries it. Nice play, nice inbounds, nice concept.
Williams now will try it. Knoll and Williams, along with Howard. 3 ball handlers in there, Jackson and Allen. Lakeview going with Place and Main.
Well, this is where they get Lakeview a little bit out of their element right here. They don't chase you real well, but they have to, and you can see a determined group of young men right out there trying not to make mistakes, but Hamady picks up another loose one.
The 24th turnover, and look out, Jason Main is down the row from us a little ways, right in front of the folks doing the radio for Lakeview. 61-53, 4:14 to go in the fourth quarter, I should say.
Well, I asked Michael Schreiber, what do you do when you get behind because you want to play that control game? And he says, we extend ourselves, and we don't like to, but we know we just have to get it back a stop at a time and a basket at a time. And Hamady's spreading them out real nice right now.
Quite a bump on that rebound tip that time by Skorka. Here comes Thompson all the way through. Dish off. not enough for the two, and got it right down to the post. And Skora will go back to the free throw line where he's 4 out of 4.
Skora did a good job of feeling the pressure and getting the ball up to make sure he'd go to the line for 2. He knew he had him out of position. He just did a little bit of a leaner and said, hey, I'll go shoot those free throws. I'm good at it.
And so back in the basketball game comes Dante Chapman. He has 8 points. Skora at the line, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 10 from the field. Pretty typical night, I would think, for Mr. Skora.
Yeah, he's got one of those last names you don't have to use his first name because they just, you say Skora and everybody knows.
Did not get the second one, and the horn goes off for some unexplained reason. The rebound came down to Allen, nothing wrong with that, and the horn just went off. No substitution, nothing there.
Yeah, they pushed the wrong button somewhere, but Hamady right now is, you can see the discipline in Archie Robinson's coaching, his team that wants to run and do these great things.
Oh, look out! Great break that time, and Place took advantage of it. Brock Place gets it down as the two Hamady players ran into each other. And so now we've got a 5-point basketball game and a travel call.
I tell you, Brock Place is one of those people, again, that you don't hear about him coming into the ball game. But he hits the three, he gets the steal, he does the things. And they do a little of their own, turn it around. Look at a great dive by David Skora. And what an effort on his part. He made that all happen.
We don't see a lot of Class C basketball, Frank, down in the Detroit area, in the suburban area, but I'll tell you something, there's no question about it. These guys are after it. They know the time of year that it is, and obviously you don't win. Each team coming in with 24 victories without playing with the same type of intensity from week 1 all the way through the final week, whenever you happen to pack it in for the final time.
Well, one thing you ask young men is don't leave anything out on the floor. And you just saw David Skora there sell out to get that turnover. And they worked their way right back in this and cut it down to a 5-point game and have the basketball.
It's been pretty much back and forth. There have not really been too many scoring runs. Third quarter, Hamady ran off an 8-0 scoring run in about a minute and a half, the first almost 2 minutes of the third quarter to increase their lead to 12, but Lakeview keeps pecking away, and they are down 5 and with it with 3:29 to go in the fourth quarter.
But this is a big possession right here. They've got to get something in the hole. They've got to either get to the line or score, and they got big buys back in there. And they had the flash inside, but they forgot about the quick hands of the Hamady Hawks.
Riyad Howard with the basketball. Lakeview's right there with him. Even after they double team, they get back to the man with the ball exceptionally well. Jackson with Buys all over him. And Buys will pick up his 3rd foul, and it will be the 6th team foul on Lakeview. So that is it as far as those freebie fouls, and that means that there will be a free throw shot the remainder of the basketball game on both sides.
That's not a bad call right there, though, because he went after him. He had him pinned on the sidelines, just got a little aggressive. And I'll tell you, this is crunch time right here.
3-minute mark, 5-point basketball game. The team in the lead is the team with the basketball. Kendrick Williams will go cross court, and Howard will take it away from pressure. There's a steal. 3-on-2 now, and he threw the basketball away. Oh, right into the hands of Williams. And the steal back on the baseline by Place, and almost. Boy, just when you think that your Daubers are down, as they say, Frank, they just come right back at you. Don't even let you have 2 dribbles, and they take it away.
Well, Brooke Place is one of those guys that just stays after things. You're going to see the ill-advised pass off the dribble right here and the hustle by Hamady. And you're going to see Place just step in there and say, mine, thank you. And he'd love to put that one down along with it.
And drew a Riyad Howard foul, and that's 3 on Howard. And Maine at the foul line, or Place at the foul line, I should say, and he is now 2 out of 3.
Well, all year they've had special people step up for them when they've had to, and you can see right now in the kind of one of the role players has done it for him right now to bring him back.
Yeah, Place has 13 points. He has 11 in the fourth quarter. He has all of their points except one, and now we'll check the call on the floor. Alternate possession will go to Lakeview, but I think, did I hear timeout?
No, I don't think so. They didn't have it wrapped up.
Jump ball is what he called.
I'll guarantee you when there's a fumble down there, it's going to be Shane Byes is going to be on top of that one. He just dug it out.
Lakeview down 3 and with it with 2:27 to go in the fourth quarter. Thompson.
It's a big difference, too, having Chris Thompson back in that lineup because he can penetrate and beat that trap. There's a quick turnover. Hamady's back on the attack.
Skora tried to throw it over the trap. They come back at you, though. One turnover. They try to force you back into it. That's the 27th turnover for Lakeview in the basketball game. Quickly cross court, but they'll sit on it for a while. And now we're shooting free throws as Teron Nall will go to the free throw line for the first time.
And you have to go and invite some people, you know, to get the basketball. I noticed back, what was it, Lonnie Jackson, if he's in the ball game, you might want to put him on the line. But when you're going to spread it out wisely, the coach takes those guys that have the low free throw percentage out and puts the people in that can knock them down.
Yeah, like this 75% foul shooter who cannot get it, but Jackson, and they fouled Jackson.
Yeah, it is Jackson in lineup, and that's the guy. But you got to block out down there. You've got the big bodies. You got to bang him. You got to get in position.
So Jackson, who missed 2 in the pink quarter, that was the third quarter. See if they give him 2 or 1.
He's got a whole ritual here, which usually indicates that you have trouble shooting him.
Front iron miss, rebound made. And now, Michael Schreiber will call his team over and tell him what the game plan is for the next 147. 61-58, Hamady in the lead, and I tell you, Frank, the ebb and flow of the tempo has really been something to watch today.
I'll tell you what was really important right there, Jim, was Hamady forcing the timeout, you know, to survive not having the turnover, because that may be their last one. Do they have any left over there at Lakeview? And
absolutely, sure.
Coming
I think
down
he
the
might
stretch,
have one left.
You know, he wanted to work those timeouts, and a great effort defensively of not letting that ball get out of there. But Hamady, you know, they've shifted gears here. They got that 10-point lead, and they're going to milk it down. They're sitting right there with a 3-point lead, and you can come down and maybe setting pace up for Place.
That was number 4. That was their 4th timeout.
That's the old coach's clock inside of me here.
Yeah. And I'm just looking around for where it's written down, so that's the announcer's clock. There it is, 1:47 to go. Hamady with a 3-point lead, and the Hawks really have forced the issue here in the fourth quarter, but Lakeview has come back beautifully.
But you're going to see Lakeview come down the floor, and they're going to try to set up pace for the 3, and if not, they'll dump it inside. They've got their man, Chris Thompson, who can break the press. He's got the quickness.
Looking for a white shirt throw right in the hands of DeWayn Allen. Allen going to reach in, foul on Jason Main, and that will send Allen to the free throw line. That's going to be Main's 3rd foul. Again, we'll repeat that Lakeview does not have any timeouts remaining.
You talk about getting in the passing lanes and anticipating, though. They, you know, tried to have a skip pass right there, and Hamady has been the opportunist all day. What's that, 28th, 29th turnover?
Yeah, 28 turnovers and 28 Hamady points off those turnovers, and there's number 29. DeWayn Allen, 5 out of 6 from the line. He has been as impressive as everybody said he would be, including Flint's own Tom Skinner, who's directing this thing for us tonight. Second one on the way and on the board, and it's now a 5-pointer. Need to score twice. They what's there. Thompson. Now, Place has been the man in the quarter. They've tried to force it inside. Buys with a great save. Thompson for three! Oh, my! Thompson, ice water with the left hand. He has 8. And we'll get a quick Lakeview foul. And we will see Dante Chapman at the line for the first time. The foul will go on Jason Main, and that will be the 4th foul on Jason Main. Ice water right here, Frank.
Well, here's the hustle underneath. The ball goes off of Dave Skorkin. Great hustle by Shane Buys, and Chris Thompson just steps right up and knocks the bottom out. But credit that one to Shane Buys. He just absolutely, again, we talked about the big guys. They sell out with the hustle.
57% foul shooter. Dante Chapman has 8. On the way, back iron, no! Rebound comes down to Place. Boy, they have missed free throws galore here in the 4th quarter. Actually, 3 big ones.
Great view, great assist on the part of Place. He puts it downstairs, ties this one up.
63-63. Allen tries to answer. It's a back iron miss, no.
It's Place again. Place is the man. This 4th quarter, he's done it with the scoring, he's done it with everything, and Buys with his hustle.
Buys, Skorka, Place almost picked off by Turan Knowles, and we have 37.7 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. 63-63. Brock Place with inbounds.
Well, Place, Skorka, and Thompson have been the people that have brought them back in this 4th quarter, and they did a great tape job on Mr. Thompson. It's going to be a kick, and they're going to get the ball back.
Almost a steal. Another of this one. It's on Ishpeme. Right now, though.
I think they're going to go with the last shot, but Hamady's going to use that quickness, try to get in those passing lanes.
Again, Lakeview doesn't have any timeouts. The possession arrow goes to Hamady. So a tie-up will benefit the team on defense. That's 7 seconds. We're tied. Place was tangled up footwise by Dante Chapman, his 4th, and now the man of the hour. He's taken over in the 4th quarter, Frank. He has 12 points in the 4th quarter, including 2 3-pointers. Brock Place at the foul line. 3 out of 4 in the quarter, 3 out of 4 in the game, 5.9 seconds to go. Half the crowd will be quiet, half will be making noise.
Well, you know what he did? He just walked up there and didn't think about it. They gave him the basketball and he just shot it. Now Hamady's going to take a timeout and talk it over. And they wanted him back up at the line before Hamady could do that. But they've got 5.9, and with all that quickness, they're going to come down and get a shot out of Allen and a possible rebound. This is going to be a great finish, Jim.
Well, the first game was a great comeback by Ishpeming. This one, I'll tell you something, Lakeview, out of it, back in it, out of it, back in it, and a lot of times, you said it before, that teams spend a lot of energy trying to climb back in basketball games, and Lakeview's done exactly that.
But I'm so impressed with the hustle of the big guys. They're the ones that, they haven't been out of the game hardly at all. And Dave Skorka and Shane Buys have just sold out down there. They've had some big tips where they've dove for that basketball, got things going, and you can't go and say enough about Brock Place and Chris Thompson coming back into this ball game. Place having a tremendous 4th quarter, and Thompson coming off of a turned ankle, getting it taped, leading his team.
Place has been unbelievable. He has 7 rebounds. He has 3 steals. And has just played an absolutely marvelous basketball game. 6 steals for Skorka to go along with his 6 rebounds, or 5 rebounds, and 17 points. That's your 3-point percentage. And 5 out of 14 for Hamady, 4 out of 12 for Lakeview. But right now, this free throw will set up.
You watch Place on this. He's going to get the ball and shoot it. He's not spending much time. He wants to put it up in a hurry.
He does, and it's rim, but it goes in. 3 seconds. Knoll is Skora for the charge with 1 second to go. And Frank, how appropriate that this team who has hustled and scrapped this entire basketball game absolutely did it with defense to turn it back over.
And I'll tell you, they hustled back and got in position. They knew what they had to do when they took the 2-point lead. And they get in position on this. We didn't see the end of it, but right here, it's over.
There it is, right in the hands of the man who came back from the edge of injury. Chris Thompson and this crowd, I'll tell you, both sides really, really have a lot to cheer about. 65-63, the final score of the basketball game. Lakeview, actually, Hamady did not have a field goal in the last 5 minutes and 9 seconds of the fourth quarter. And in that time, they got outscored 12-3 over the last 5:09 of the fourth quarter. And it's the big guys handling it inside with Shane Buys and Dave Skorka with his 6 steals and 5 rebounds. And Buys had an incredible 13-rebound, 14-point performance. And Place, who came into the fourth quarter with just a 2-point field goal in the second quarter, Frank, 15 points and 7 rebounds total. So that's 13 points and 5 rebounds in the fourth quarter. What an absolutely wonderful comeback by Lakeview. But this Flint Hamady team, I will tell you, just needed a couple more minutes.
Kinds of nice little things. And what I do, lose my cough switch. But you saw Lakeview just methodically work their way back in, and everybody played their role. Everybody did their part, and they just hustled their way back in and made all the shots. And we talked about the people on that when they were at the line or that last time out, and it was truly a team effort and a team comeback in that fourth quarter.
And what a performance by DeWayn Allen! 28 points for DeWayn Allen. He just was all over the floor. They just couldn't get the ball to him as much as they wanted to down the stretch, but this is a basketball team that gets a lot of scoring from a lot of people and a lot of points from DeWayn Allen. Flint Hamady played themselves a great basketball game, and it was tempo versus tempo, and it was just a matter of the team that gritted it out the longest would come up with a victory.
Well, we saw streaks both ways, and on the part of Lakeview, they had the final streak.
And I'll tell you something, the Breslin Center has turned into Brock Place right here with just a great fourth quarter, and the Lakeview Wildcats win their 25th game of the year, and indeed the 100th victory as the Lakeview coach for Michael Schreiber. And so for Frank Plecas and also for Mike Fry handling the statistical data here at the Breslin Center, Jim Shafran saying so long from this Class C semifinal basketball game. And once again, our final score, the Lakeview Wildcats 65 and the Hamady Hawks 63. Good night from the Breslin Center.